Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. Today is July the 15th. There are 2 games in the WNBA. I bet both of them. So let's jump into it for today. Hit the like button for me if you can, as you join. Definitely helps out the show, helps out the algorithm. Nice way to show a little appreciation to the show. And let's jump into it for today, man. So yesterday we had a couple of plays. I actually played more plays than I played in quite a while. Minnesota. I told you guys I was going to take first half. I liked it a little bit more. They did not cover the first half. You could argue that if Ariel Atkins don't, go down and doesn't come back at the end of at halftime, it's a different story in the second game. But I know a lot of people like Minnesota for the full, like Chicago plus the points. You all were losers. You all lost money. So I did too. And then the under 161.5 was a losing bet as well. Really just didn't think Minnesota offense was going to look that crisp. I mean, they turned Chicago over in the second half. You did see a little bit more defense. Minnesota, for whatever reason, even coming off a loss, have still really struggled out the gate in the first half. I didn't expect that yesterday. Courtney Williams did go over her 11.5 rebounds and assists. That was pretty easy. And then we doubled down on Minnesota in the third quarter, minus 2.5 at halftime. And that was a winner as well. So 2-2 night for myself. Of course, the bigger plays were the losers. So I do lose a little bit. But it's all good, man. Hopefully you guys made some money. I didn't bet the second game. I told you guys I don't want the Valkyries. And Alyssa Thomas at the free throw line got the job done last night. So hopefully you guys made some money, man. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. We'll jump into it. Gina says she went 2-2 in the W last night, cashed AT 15 plus points. And the under was super sweaty. Yeah, I think the game was supposed to go over, Gina, but did go under. I stayed off that game altogether. She lost Minnesota first half, minus 6.5, and the under. Minnesota still can't get the job done in the first half. It's so insane, man. So insane. Let's see. Squad says, shocked to see the Fever open at 11 and climb to 6 with the Liberty on deck tomorrow. Give me the Sun plus 16 at the crib. All right, so we'll talk about that. I just want to double check something real quick. Let's just see something real quick. All right, cool. Yeah, and then Chad says with Fever putting it together and Libs on deck could always run into them trying to put the Sun away by the third for time to rest, and that's a fact. Says I want nothing to do with the Sun. Mystics in this spot. I got plus 4.5 at open. Would still play money line though. Now that the line has moved, we'll talk about that. What else y'all saying in here? What up, JLB? Appreciate you for tapping in as always, bro. Hope all is well with you. Let's see. Rick says you were right about the links. Everybody rode with that Chicago. They did, man. Everybody rode with Chicago. You always just a learning thing, man. You always want to take a good team off a loss. Most times you want to take a good team off a loss. Used to work in the NBA a lot. Now it doesn't work as much in the NBA, but in the W, they take these games serious. And the whole Courtney Williams narrative with the social media posts and stuff, you typically want to take those teams in a bounce back spot, especially if they're playing the same exact team. You honestly don't even matter what the spread is. The books know, man. Prolific says cashed on Reese over her points, Williams over rebound leg at plus 300. Love to see that. Chad says they definitely caught the Storm sleeping. I'll give you that. But Fever rounding into form now with pieces healthy. I'd imagine they want to go into the break strong, and the Sun are a punching bag. Are a little bit of a punching bag. Free Sauce says we killed it again yesterday, starting with the W really good now. There were 20 games into the season. We are starting to get a little bit more consistency for sure. Free Sauce likes Tina Charles over her points. All right, I can't even get through all of this. Matt says he likes the Sun team total over. All right, we'll get into all those, man. Y'all come in firing, man. Let me do the intro. What's up, Prestigious Prodigy? Good morning, PZ. Hope all is well with you. Brian says Chicago first half. Money line was the play plus 331. Too bad I took the full game. Yeah, man. Yeah. Van Negro says, greetings, Chris. Go Mystics in the DMV. Shout out to the DMV. What's up, Mark? Hope all is well with you. What up, Justin? Justin was on the over yesterday in that Chicago game. I saw him post it, a comment on mine, and you were right, Justin. I was definitely wrong there. Toby says plus 15 for the Sparks. I'm plus the Sun and the Sparks on the money line. What up, Doms? Hope all is well with you, my brother. Mark did play the minus 10.5. Mark came in here yesterday so swift, was like, yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and lay this 10.5. All right, I'm out. I'll holler at y'all later. And he cashed both of them because the third quarter was a winner as well. Justin says, love the Sun today. Also sprinkle plus 900 on the money line. Okay. Chicago got value but no talent. Chicago got it all. The Lynx are just the best team in the WNBA. Statistically, I still think that the Liberty are the best team in the WNBA, but they need Jocko Jones back in order to prove that. Varsity played over 164.5 in same game parlay, minus 10.5 and over 157. All right, let's jump into it for today. I do agree with this, Toby. It did change the game a little bit, but we'll see, man. Minnesota bench has no business taking that last shot with 30 seconds left. I guess, man. Chicago couldn't score the basketball no more anyway, though. I mean, they were getting like points here and there, but Haley Van Lith got some work to do, man. Letitia Heidemann, she was trying to clamp stuff up in the second half yesterday. I don't know why the Lynx can't get it done in the first half, though, man. We cashed with them in the first half against the Sparks like a couple games ago, but they did not. They went to bed yesterday. All right, so let's get into it. So start off with Jackson. Jackson is an AI sports betting tool, of course. Yesterday, Jackson gave out Angel Reese over her points, rebounds, and assist line. It was 30.5 is what I wrote down. And she did cash that yesterday. Angel Reese continues to hoop, man. Gotta give Angel Reese her flowers. 22-12, 22-10 and 3 yesterday. So she had 35 points, rebounds, and assists yesterday. The second play was on Kayla Thornton. And Jackson been riding with this one for a while now. Kayla Thornton under her 14.5 points was another winner. So 2-0 day for Jackson yesterday. I think that's the first 2-0 day in a while. But yeah, 2-0 day for Jackson yesterday. Today, same prompt. Jackson likes Caitlin Clark. Right. So the prompt is, if you missed the show or you're new to the show, hit the like button first and foremost. But the prompt is 1 over, 1 under as far as WNBA props for today. Jackson liked Caitlin Clark over on her assist prop. This did cash in the last game. It says, let's see if I can find the analysis here. All right. So Caitlin Clark, I mean, you probably should know this already, but it says she's been consistently hitting over the line, clearing 8.5 assists in 80% of her last 5 games. Averaging 9.4 assists per game during this stretch. Over her last 10 games, she's maintained a 70% hit rate, averaging 8.7 assists. For the season, she hit 75% of her 12 appearances, averaging 9 assists per game, which leads the league. Matchup history, while she recorded 6 assists in her lone matchup against the Sun this season, her overall trend and opponent defense struggles suggest a strong performance today. Opponent defense, the Connecticut Sun ranked 12th in opponent assists, allowing 21.4 per game, indicating that they are not particularly strong at limiting assists to opposing players. This favorable matchup should allow Caitlin to continue her playmaking success. News narrative: Clark's playmaking has been a consistent strength, with her assists per game increasing from her rookie season. She's now picked up 9 and 13 assists in her last 2 games, demonstrating her ability to carve up defenses. The Fever's offense has been humming, scoring 102 and 199 points in their last 2 games, which creates ample opportunities for Clark to rack up assists. So take Caitlin Clark over her 8.5 assists. It looks like the best line is minus 112 on FanDuel. If you don't think the game's going to be a blowout, we shall see how that goes. Next look up is Kelsey Mitchell under on her 3-point prop, under 2.5 on her 3-point prop. I don't know about this one. Let's read what it says. It says, so it starts with her recent performance. It says she's hit the under on this line 40% of her last 5 games, averaging 2.4 3-pointers made. Over her last 20 games, she's hit the under in 55% of those contests, averaging just 2.25 3-point makes. Matchup history, her performance against Connecticut Sun has been particularly subdued. This season, she's hit the under 100% of her 2 games so far this season, averaging just a half a made 3. Looking back at last season, she hit the under 75% of her 4 games against the Sun, averaging 1.7 made 3s. Okay. The consistent historical performance against the opponent is a significant factor. Then you look at the Connecticut defense. It says the Connecticut Sun boasts a strong defense against this position, ranking 8th in the league. This indicates that they are effective at limiting 3-point opportunities for opposing players, which further support the under. News narrative: with Caitlin Clark back in the lineup and taking a significant share of the shots, there may be fewer opportunities for Mitchell to get up her usual volume on the 3-point attempts. The Suns' defense The Suns' defensive focus, especially against perimeter threats, makes this a challenging matchup for Mitchell to exceed her line. So there are the looks for Jackson today, man. Jackson likes Kelsey Mitchell under her 2.5 3-point makes, and Caitlin Clark over her 8.5 assists. No plays in the second game. As always, check Jackson out. Link is in the description. 50% off using promo code ChrisBeCappinn with 2 P's and 2 N's. Let's jump into the 2 games for today. First up, we got the Fever on the road. They are laying a hefty 16 points. This total, it went up to 166. It looks like, I guess now it's come back down a little bit. So some consolidation with the total back down to 165.5. All right, so I did bet the game. And we'll start off with the injury report. For the Fever, looks like they'll have everybody. For the Connecticut Sun, just Marina Mabry being listed as out. So this is a first leg of a back-to-back, which was already mentioned in the chat, right? The Indiana Fever play in New York tomorrow. So a little short travel. And then the Connecticut Sun, they're actually off. They don't play a game until next week. This is their last game before the All-Star break. So probably want to finish pretty strong at the crib. You look at the spot here, right? This is Indiana's first game. It's their first game on the road after a 5-game homestand. Of course, they smacked Dallas in that last game. Had a very convincing win against especially in the second half against the Atlanta Dream as well 2 games ago. And the Connecticut Sun, for them, this is their first game back home after a 2-game West Coast road trip where they played Seattle and LA, lost both games, but covered both spreads. They've actually covered 3 spreads in a row now. And if you look at it, it's been their offense, right? The reason why Connecticut has been playing, why they have been covering is because they've scored 88 points or more in 2 of their last 3 games. And they did go 3-2, and they are 3-2 ATS as a double-digit home dog this season. I think the 2 games that they didn't cover both came against the Aces, and then they've covered all the rest of their games so far this season. The Fever are just 1-3 against the spread when they've been laying double digits this season as well, right? So you got to take it with a little bit of grain of salt. The way I see it is that the Fever have been playing super fast. The Connecticut offense has been a little bit better. So I played the over at 165. You still 165.5, I think is what I got. You still can get 165.5 because that's the same thing I got last night when I sent it out to the members and when I played it. Connecticut, for what it's worth, they're 5-2-1 against the over. As home dogs this season. Those games are averaging right at 167 points. And I also looked at road favorites that are laying double digits coming off a game where they covered, and they're 59% to the over as well. Road favorites laying 15 or more are just 7 and 12 against the spread this season, at right about 36%. So I'll show you guys this real quick. If we jump over to Give Me the Dog, I'll show you guys this. And then I'll go through the comment section. And now there is a couple of player props that I do think are noteworthy in this game as well. I don't know if I'm going to get to any player props in this game, though. So I'll minimize myself. If you join late, like I said, do me a favor, hit the like button for me if you can. So the first thing I want to share is I want to look at the first trend that I just showed you, that I just talked about with you guys, is I want to look at double-digit road favorites coming off a game where they covered. So you can see here, I think you guys should be able to see this. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. There we go. All right, so 47 and 32 and 2 to the over. That's 59%. This season, it's also 7-2 and 1 to the over. So if you're an in-season trend type of guy, this is great, right? 7-2 and 1, 78%. We can see that it's active right here on Fever and Sun for today. And you can see the overs, right? So this is just a road favorite laying double digits coming off a game where they covered. To me, this just says that the offense continues to play well. And we saw the Indiana Fever almost score 120, points in that last game against the Dallas Wings on Sunday. And now they get the worst defense in the WNBA, right? Connecticut is pretty poor on the defensive end. The worst defensive team in the WNBA. I was actually reading something last night. I think I was reading it on my phone. And it was telling me that the defensive rating. So if I go back to the other screen, which I'm not going to do that quite yet, but if I go back to the other screen, you probably already saw it. The defensive rating for the Connecticut Sun, I think it's a 112. And I think that's the worst in the WNBA and WNBA history. So something to take into consideration if you do like Connecticut today. They have been playing harder. I don't really want to be involved with the spread. I do think that the back door could potentially be open. Connecticut matches up. They matched up really well against the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark. They did win that game in Indiana. So take that for what it's worth as well. But yeah, 112.5 defensive rating for Connecticut is really, really bad. Last 5 games has actually been worse than that, 113.9. So I do think Indiana should be able to score. Last 5 games, Indiana is number 1 in offensive rating, number 1 in net rating. They're averaging the most points at 86 per game. And they're actually giving up the third fewest at 77.6. So take with that information, do what you want. Keep in mind that their last 5 games have all come at home. And it's a pretty terrible spot for Connecticut coming back from a West Coast road trip, even though it is a short 2-game trip. So I expect points. I think get in if you want to get in now. Maybe the total goes up a little bit higher, but we shall see. All right. If I am going to go over to Outlier just really quickly, I want to share with you guys the way I was looking at a couple player props. Like I said, I haven't played any, but if we are looking at player props, and I didn't show you guys road favorites. So road favorites laying 15 points or more. I said this already, but they're 7-12 against the spread. Just 36.8% of teams laying 15 points or more actually cover. And I didn't even, when I looked to this yesterday, I didn't even I don't know if we've ever had a road favorite laying 15 points or more, and then they don't have it. They're playing on the first leg of a back-to-back. Yeah, it's the first time all season. First time not all season. First time in the Give Me the Dog database that a road favorite. Ooh, okay. All right. So I actually want to stop sharing real quick because I didn't look into this yesterday. I do want to share this with you guys though. This is a little bit more confirmation, and I think something to like here. All right. So this is road favorites laying double digits, and they're playing on the first leg of a back-to-back. So you can see that they do win 4-0 straight up. They do not cover though. It's only happened 4 times in the database, 2012, 2016, 2024, and then once this season as well. And I was on the Mercury in this spot. I remember being on the Mercury. The Mercury also had the Liberty in their next game, and we got in early. We got in -8.5, and they lost this game, won the game by 8. Or no, we didn't get in 8.5. I think we got in at 9.5, and they won the game by 8. I was pissed. I do remember this. So these teams don't cover. Road favorites laying these big numbers, playing the first leg of a back-to-back do not cover. Those games do go over though. You can see that here. Average total is a little bit lower than today, but they go over by about 7 points. You can see that, about 6.5 points. You can see that number there. So I played over. Don't think that the Indiana Fever will be focused on the defensive end with a big game tomorrow, but we shall see. All right, let's jump back into the player props. That's 2 that I want to share, and I'm gonna go through the comments. We'll get to the next game and give you guys the play that I made on that game as well. All right, so jumping back over to Outlier, as always, link in the description if you guys want to check out Outlier. So Kelsey Mitchell is where I want to start, right? I know it's the first leg of a back-to-back, but Kelsey Mitchell, even though she has gone under her points prop in both games against this team, I mean, you could just see it right here without me even clicking on it, right? You can see this screen right here alone tells you that Kelsey Mitchell is playing against the worst defense in the WNBA. You can see that here. Opponent ranks 13th. Her last 5 games, she's over 80%. That's right here. Her last 10 games, she's over in 80% of her games. So, I mean, a lot of what I'm going to say is already right there. Her points prop today listed at 17.5. You can see that she's averaging 21.1 over her last 10 games, over her last 5 games, right at 20.2 as well. So she's just been killing. I mean, there's no reason for I think to look the opposite way. The other thing I wanted to check was I didn't look at road games, but you can see she's over in 3 of her last 4 road games as well. Although she has struggled a little bit. Some of these games, this game came from last season, and she got off to a slow start early this season as well. But one thing I wanted to check was I wanted to see games that she played with Caitlin, because Caitlin coming back, I'm gonna talk about that in the next prop. I think that does have a little bit of an impact as well. But you can see here, over in 4 of her last 5 games, even with Kelsey Mitchell playing. And this is what I like for Kelsey Mitchell here. The games that she's gone over, she has 20 or more. So it's not like she's stopping at 18, right? Gives you a little bit of insurance. 4 of the last 5 games, the only one she stayed under was the Valkyries game. Valkyries, of course, play super good defense at the crib. So that was one way I was thinking. I think as a pick and roll ball handler, her getting out in transition, spot up shots, she should be able to get to 18 points today. The other play I was looking at was Natasha Howard, her teammate. Natasha Howard under on her rebound prop here. So Natasha Howard rebound prop. We actually talked about this a couple days ago, 2 games ago. She struggled, right? So she did get to 7 against Atlanta, but these are the 3 games since Caitlin Clark came back, right? They lost, won, and her rebounds have really taken a hit with Caitlin Clark in. Now you can see these 4 games here without Caitlin Clark, she started killing on the rebounds, right? And then, like I said, just 7 in one of these more recent games. So what I did was I started looking at, games with, so let's go to games without Caitlin Clark. So you can see her rebound prop. She's hit over in 7 of the last 10, averaging 7.5, 4 straight overs, 5 of her last 6 without Caitlin Clark, right? If we put Caitlin Clark on the floor, you can see, boom, big drop off, right? Now we go under, not just in 2 or 3 since Caitlin Clark's come back, but also 3, 4, 5. 5 of her last 6 she stayed under. And this line is 6.5, a juice 6.5. So if you guys are looking for a rebound prop under, I don't think it's necessarily a bad look, even though, take it into consideration, the Connecticut Sun give up the most rebounds in the WNBA. So take that with a grain of salt. But I do think that Natasha Howard can continue to go under on her rebound prop today. So these were 2 player props I thought about. I guess you could say they're kind of, on the short list, but I didn't get to either one of them. All right, let's go through the comments. I talked for a while. Official play over, do lean towards Kelsey Mitchell going over at 17.5 points, Natasha Howard under her rebound prop. If I had to play the side, I do think I would take the points with Connecticut as well. I don't like the spot necessarily for them, but even though the Fever has played really good in their last 2 games, we do got to keep in mind that they were playing against the Dallas Wings. Very impressive against the Atlanta Dream, though. But they were playing against the Dallas Wings in that last game. Dallas really been giving it up to everybody. So let's see if the Fever can prove it on the road. Let's see how locked in they'll be with a game tomorrow against a much better opponent, in New York. We'll see, man. This is, Stephanie White going back to play to coach against the Indiana Fever too. Something to take into consideration. But the Fever look, I guess you could say Connecticut look good, but who doesn't look good against the Sparks? Keep that in mind as well. All right, let's go through the comments real quick and see what you guys are saying. Let's see. Fever game over, so GLB likes the over as well. Chad says so everyone likes the Sun. Wow. Everybody loved the storm. I mean, not the storm, the sky yesterday. I think you liked the storm yesterday too, Chad. Let's see. Injury changed the whole game. Jimmy says when Chris was talking about the Lynx bounce back yesterday, I knew I messed up with this guy plus 10.5. Let's see what else y'all saying here. Freestyle is also loving Natasha Howard in this spot against the Connecticut points and rebounds. So thinking a little different than I am. Mark says emotionally charged game today for the Sun. Could see them cover the 16, but Indy flowing while I played minus 10.5 in the over. I think that's 11 is still high though. 11 is still a lot, but I understand it. They are flowing. Matthew with the $2.99 donation. Appreciate you, my brother. Let's see. FL3 says Valkyries cost me my parlay, bro. Vegas knew what was going to happen. I don't think they knew, but I understand it. Let's see. Fever 15 points. Chicago. Fever 15 points. I don't know what that means. SWAT with the $1.99 donation says keep up the good content. Appreciate that, SWAT. Let's see. What else? JB says system play on the Fever on the full game over. I'm sorry. 9-2 this season. Double digit home dogs in games with a total of 160 or higher this season. So double digit home dogs. So home dog and line didn't equal to 10, and total is greater than total of 160 or higher. So total is equal to or greater than 160, and we land on. Oh, and this, so it's already a 56% trend. Let's see. In season equals 2025. 8-2 and 1 to the over, GLB. I like this a lot. Average total 162, going over by about 4.5 points. So it gets us to about 167. I need 167. And it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight overs in this trend as well. I like this a lot, Joe. Appreciate you for sharing this. Last year was a little bit of an overtrend too. I like to look at the last couple of trends as well. Fever suck on the road. Toby says the Fever are not covering machines on the road. I think that's important to mention. I looked into this. I don't think I wrote it down. I did write this down. The Fever are. I didn't write it down. Fever are 5-4 straight up and against the spread on the road. They win by average of 2 points. The Fever's biggest win this season on the road came by 15 against the Lynx. And that was the Commissioner's Cup game without Caitlin Clark. I'm sorry, it came against the Sun. I did look into this last night. It came against the Sun. They beat the Sun in their third road game. Beat them by 27 when they were laying 3. This is when they were hot. And they've kind of gotten that kind of hot again. I would be taking the points if I was playing this game. Not that the Fever suck on the road. The Fever not great on the road, but I think they can do enough to win, not covering this spot. Chicago agrees with me, likes over. Mark says, friendly reminder, hit the like button. Appreciate you. Squad, $49.99 super sticker. Appreciate that. God, appreciate that for sure, bro. Nice. Let's see what else y'all are seeing here. God says the Sun don't play again until July 24th. I can't see them leaving anything on the court. No athlete wants to sit with the big loss for over a week, and I agree with that. I mean, the Sun aren't great, but I agree with that. They'll fight hard. They typically play a little bit better at home for sure as well. Let's see. I told you guys the numbers already. They're 4-5 against the spread. They've covered 3 of their last 5 games. The only one that they didn't cover was the game against the Aces. Failed to cover by 1 point. And remember, the Aces were coming off that game against the Fever where they got absolutely smoked. So I definitely agree with the analysis here. It'd be Fever plus the points for me. Justin says Fever regression incoming with the back-to-back monster game, and have to look ahead and to look ahead with the Liberty. Now I could be on the Fever. No way I could be on the Fever, and I agree with that. Ken says he got Caitlin Clark over 16.5 points. Do think it's going to be a bounce back game for her coming, Ken. I do agree with you. I'm not sure if it's going to be this game. Caitlin Clark is she's been going under. They don't even need her to score because they got so many other scores, right? If you go through and look at it, Sophie Cunningham is going over in back-to-back games. I saw her points prop listed at 9.5. Natasha Howard's hooping. Kelsey Mitchell's hooping. Leah Boston is probably I don't know if she's the second best center in the WNBA, but Leah Boston's been killing. So yeah, Caitlin Clark has not needed to do as much, but she is going to go off eventually. And I think it's correlated with her 3-point prop as well, because her 3-point prop is listed at 2.5. She says she's going under, I want to say, in 5-6 straight games or something like that. So if it's not a blowout, she's needed to be in the game. Caitlin Clark is eventually going to have a breakout offensive game. Maybe she's saving it for tomorrow, though. I agree with the Kelsey Mitchell love money. I just talked about that. Let's see. Clark won't play more than 25 minutes with the back-to-backs, Squad says, and that could potentially be there too, especially if Stephanie White's trying to monitor her minutes. Dom says he'll go Fever first half, -8.5. Might be a look. Says they're 6-1-1 against the spread on the road in the first half, 4-1-1 as a road favorite. They could possibly run it up early with New York on deck tomorrow. That's a pretty good take. I agree with that. Toby says I wanted to bet on the Sun money line because I really believe they could win tonight. I went more safe with the plus 15.5, but I'm totally with you, Stacks. I don't know if they could win, but I get it. Don says he likes Kelsey Mitchell over 16.5 points against Dallas. Should get to 20. She might be worth a ladder tonight. I can see that. All right, let's see. Let's get to the next game. Don props says he'll go Fever team total over. More reasons for the over. Double-digit road favorites who just covered as a double-digit home favorite. 16-6 to the over going back since the 2012 season. I like it, GLB. I like that a lot. Squad says, Chris, any data on teams coming off a 5-game homestand? I did look into that yesterday. So let's look into that real quick. I don't think there was the problem is you're not gonna find too many spots where they're laying this many points. So if we go so road teams after 5-game homestand are 27-28 straight up, 27-28, 27-27-1 against the spread. That leaves us with nothing, right? If you look at if they're a road favorite, they're 11-10-1 against the numbers, so right at about 52.4%, 13-9 to the over, 18-4 straight up. But the last 3 have failed to cover going back to last season. The only time we saw that this season was the Lynx laying points in Phoenix, and that was last week, and they lost that game outright. That was the game the Lynx had a big letdown spot, and they smoked the Sparks in that next game. So yeah, take with that information, do what you want, squad. I don't think it's really anything you could I think I looked into this last night. I don't think it's really anything to take away from this. Oh, if they're double-digit favorites, okay. So if you're coming off a 5-game homestand, you're a double-digit road favorite. You're 3-0 straight up, 0-2-1 against the spread, 3-0 to the over. So more love for the over. I like it, and they have not covered any of these spreads so far. Once in 2021, once in 2023, and then once last year as well between the Storm and the Sparks. Storm were laying 10. They won the game by 6. So yeah, 3-0 to the over, but 0-2-1 against the spread. Appreciate you, squad. Let's see. What else should I say? What up, Nayeli? Hope all is well in the DMV. Says love the over 165.5. Same game parlay fever money line Sun plus 16.5. Okay. All right. I like it. Sanaya River points. Yeah, Sanaya's been hooping, Josh. I did look at Sanaya River points before we started the show. She's over in 4. I want to say it was 4 or 5 straight games. Granted, I was gonna say like she's been playing against some soft defenses because she played against the Sparks in that last game, and I think she had a career high in that game. I want to say she had 15. Let me just double check real quick. And she had 20. My fault. Yeah, so her number's still 9.5. She has gone over in 4 straight games, like I said. 10, 11, and 12, 10, 11, 12, and 20. So you kind of look at it, you think to yourself, well, will she continue to be a juggernaut on the offensive end? Is this Fever defense a lot better than the defenses she's played recently? They have played against some middle of the pack defenses. The Storm defenses, I guess, more better, like a lot, probably top 5-ish. The Vegas Aces in here as well. So is it a little bit of a letdown spot, or does she continue to play well is what you got to ask yourself. I'm not sure where the offense is going to come from. It could be from Sanaya Rivers. I did look into JC Sheldon as well. She's going under in both games against the Fever so far. We got to remember they had that little dust up the last time that they played in Connecticut, in Indiana as well, with Sophie Cunningham and JC Sheldon going after her. So that's something to take into consideration as well. All right, let's keep going. ESPN at TD Garden, Boston Clark loves for the big audiences like that. I do agree with that. I didn't know that it was being played at TD Garden, so that's another reason to like it. Tina Charles to grab a board store says, Hoodie Mellow. I like Hoodie Mellow. Hoodie Mellow, great, man. I like Hoodie Mellow. Brian says, what do you think about Boston over 13 rebounds and assists? I was thinking about her assists a lot today, Brian, but we'll see how much point guard she runs. I think her rebounds are 8.5, even though she's gone under, I think, in 4 of her last 5 games. I think that could be a good look today. The Connecticut Sun give up a lot of rebounds. So if I don't think that Natasha Howard's going to get them, I do like a little bit of Aaliyah Boston being able to go out there, potentially get a double-double in this game. I could definitely see that. All right, let's get over to the next game. We've been on this game for a long time. I didn't think we'd get that much commentary on that game, but I'd like to go through the comments. All right, so now we got Sparks and Mystics, right? This line, let's just double check it real quick. I think I know Chad said he put it in the chat yesterday. He had got a mine plus 4.5 for the Washington Mystics. I didn't see that number, but maybe it opened there. Is now down to, it looks like a pick. So money has come in on the Sparks in this spot. Let's go through and update the line. All right, so it initially opened with the Mystics being 4.5 point dogs. It shifted all the way to a 1.5. No, it shifted all the way to a 2, I think. And now it's come back down to a pick. You still can get Washington. You actually can get Washington plus 1. So I must have missed some news. Let's just double check real quick. Did I miss something here? Because I swear I ain't see anything. Somebody out for Washington? Let's just double check real quick. Nah, Haley Peters signed a 7-day contract with the Sun 2 hours ago. And shout out to the Portland Fire, the new WNBA team that'll start playing next year. I did see that. All right. So no news has come in at all. This is just money coming in on the Sparks in this spot. Let's just go back real quick. All right, so we get into the matchup. The Mystics have nobody listed on the injury report. The Sparks have nobody listed on the injury report outside of Cameron Brink, who is supposed to make a return, I think, after the All-Star break. So Washington, they've won 3 straight games. They've won 7 of their last 10. They're playing really good basketball. Last 3 wins have come against some pretty impressive teams as well. They beat Seattle in Seattle. They beat Chicago. That's been absolutely killing in their last few games as well. And the thing you got to ask yourself in this game is, will Washington be able to score enough points? We know the Sparks defense typically gives up a ton of points. The reason why, and I bet the Mystics in this game. I took them on the money line at -122 last night. You can get a better number than me clearly right now because the money has come back in on the Sparks, which kind of makes sense. I don't think the Mystics should be laying too many points, but I do think that they can win this game. I do think that they will win this game. The Mystics, what I like about them is I think that they will be able to dominate on the defensive end in this game. The Sparks in my opinion, I think they're just going to give up a bunch of points. The Mystics are number 1 in defensive rating in the last 5 games, allowing just 77 points per game. And you look at the Sparks, they've continued to be very inconsistent. Have the Los Angeles Sparks, right? Just 3-7 straight up in their last 10 games. They've been inconsistent with covering games as well, 2-7-1 against the spread. Defensively, they've really, really struggled to limit their opponents, which has resulted in them allowing 88 points or more in 5 of their last 6 games. They're number 12th in defensive rating on the full season and in their last 5 games. And then the Sparks at the crib, for whatever reason, are even worse. They're 2-8 straight up at the crib, 1-9 against the spread. I think when I was going through and just kind of looking at some of the statistical stuff, I think Washington should be able to dominate the boards as they've done much of the season. This Washington Mystics team is, I want to say, 3rd in. Let's just check it real quick, make sure I got the updated numbers. So Washington is all right, yeah. So Washington is 5th in rebounding, 2nd in defensive rebounding, and that's big for the Sparks because the Sparks while they suck, they're a pretty good rebounding team as well. I think this takes one of their strengths away, though. I do think this takes one of the strengths away for the Sparks. I'm expecting Washington to go down there and grab the boards. I mean, you got Shakira Austin, you got Kiki Iriafen, even Brittany Sykes is a pretty good rebounder as well. So I'm expecting Washington to be able to dominate the boards, slow down the fast break points, right? The Sparks are a team that likes to get out and run. They rank 5th on the season and 3rd in their last 5 games as far as transition points. Washington allows the fewest in the WNBA. This is one of the reasons they were able to beat the Storm in their last game. I'm also expecting Washington to be able to slow down the Sparks from scoring in the paint. The Sparks average the 3rd most points in the paint on the full season, and Washington allows the 3rd fewest points in the paint. So I think the Sparks offense will come to a little bit of a screeching halt in this game. Not sure if the Sparks are going to be able to get stops, but I expect the Mystics to be able to win the game. From a trend perspective, the Sparks are 0-6 straight up and against the spread when they're coming off a win this season. They have not covered back-to-back games or won back-to-back games so far. They're 5-1 to the over in those games as well. Defensively, they just really don't get a lot of stops, and they struggle with turning the ball over. I want to say nobody turns the ball over more than the Sparks do, and I expect Washington to be able to take advantage of that. So Washington, the Sparks are, let's see. Yeah, they turn the ball over at the 2nd highest rate in the WNBA, 12th. They turn the ball over. They have a 19.9% turnover rate, and the Washington Mystics they're about right in the middle of the pack at 6th in turnover percentage. So Sparks also grab a ton of offensive rebounds. They're 4th. The Mystics allow the 2nd fewest. So when I was just looking at all of this, to me it just landed on Mystics. I didn't get the best of the number because I could have got a plus 4.5, plus 2.5, plus 1.5, but I did take the money line here. And then the other thing was, from an ATS perspective, a lot of people like playing the Valkyries because the Valkyries are, just very, very tough, right? The Valkyries, ATS wise, they just typically cover no matter who they're playing against. They didn't cover last night, but they typically cover whoever they're playing against. The Sparks are actually the worst ATS team in the WNBA, 7-13-1, by far the worst ATS team in the WNBA. No other team. I don't even think any other team is close. Let's just look at that real quick. So the Sparks are 35% ATS. The Aces are 38% ATS. So those are the 2 worst ATS teams in the WNBA. The Mercury and the Valkyries are actually first at 62%. So that's my thought process on this one, and that's the way I chose to bet it. Didn't really look too deeply into any player props. If I had to play anything, I think Shakira Austin numbers a tad bit too high for me at 14.5 points. I did look into that. Kiki Iriafen could have a pretty good game. I do think that the Sparks are pretty soft in the middle. De'Arica Hamby is not someone that really scares me on the defensive end as far as, centers being able to grab a bunch of boards or slow down opposing bigs. So I would probably target Kiki Iriafen, like I said, with Shakira Austin numbers being a little bit inflated in my opinion. So that's the way I kind of think about this game. There was something else. Oh, De'Arica Hamby. I was potentially looking at De'Arica Hamby under her point. So I guess I'll just go over the outline really quickly so I can show you guys what I was looking at. I think this could be, if you like points in this game, I think maybe an Azurá Stevens game. I think Azurá could have a big game in this one. If I was betting on a player prop, that's the way I would bet. I think Hamby actually struggles in this matchup. So you can see here for De'Arica Hamby, she is points prop listed at 15.5. She's under in 6 of her last 10 games, even though she's over in 4 of her last 5 games. What I was looking at here was with De'Arica Hamby, she scores her points primarily in transition. And the Washington Mystics give up the second fewest points in transition. So I think that's a big spot for her. She also scores a lot off the pick and roll as the roll man. And the Washington Mystics are top 2 in the league in that as well, in that position as well. So I think she could struggle today. I think De'Arica Hamby goes under, and I would bet on Azurá to have a big game. Azurá, if we just flip over to Azurá real quick, she's the one that's actually been hooping. And I think the matchup just kind of favors a player like Azurá and her skill set. So we go look at Azurá real quick. I would play on her points. I probably would stay away from her rebounds. But you can see 12.5 is the number. She's pretty much been killing it. Over in 6 of her last 10 games, but you could also say over in 6 of her last 8 games. She just had these 2 duds right here. With this one, she finished on the hook against the Liberty. I think it's a little bit better matchup for somebody like Azurá Stevens. You can see her minutes have been consistent as well. She plays like power forward. They are third in points allowed, but she's not a traditional power forward. She definitely can stretch the floor, and I think they're going to need that. I think the Sparks will need that to score today. So that's the way I would play player props. De'Arica Hamby under and Azurá Stevens over. I forgot to share one more real quick. This was actually crazy. I found this for people that like player props as well. I don't think I wrote this down, but I was looking at it like a couple minutes before the show. Kelsey Plum, she does not have necessarily the greatest matchup because this is a really good defense, but Kelsey Plum has been killing. Look at this. Over her last 10 games, her points, rebounds, assists listed at 25.5. She's going over in 7 straight games. 8, 9 of her last 10 games, she's gone over this 25.5 line. So if you just, somebody who played trends and, just take people because you took them last game and it worked, there you go. She has done really, really well. And these are against, some cupcake defenses and some really good defenses as well, right? You see here against Minnesota, this was the 7-12 assist game she had. 20 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists in this game against Indiana. These are 2 of the better defenses. The Liberty, I know, have been struggling a little bit. Chicago's defense has been a little bit better. Indiana defense has been really good and really bad, so no idea what's going on there. But even against Minnesota in the first game, she had 27 as well. Aces, 26. So if you're just somebody who plays the trend, you definitely probably want to be betting on Kelsey Plum to go over. I like both of the Kelseys today. All right, so that's what I wanted to share there. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Jump into a quick recap, and then we can get off of here, man. Let's see. Where did I pick up at? Squash says close your eyes and take the Sparks over. I could see it going over. I could definitely see it going over. JLB says he's going Sparks on the money line here, so a little bit of disagreement. Toby says big Sparks spot too. So a lot of people, some people got like the Sparks today. JW says what's the Mystics trend as a favorite? Let's look into that real quick. It's not good. I know that for sure. Mystics are 6-2 straight up as a favorite, but 3-5 against the number. They failed to cover 4 straight games. I remember playing them against the Wings, and they lost that game. I played the over, and they couldn't score. They scored 71 points. If they're a road favorite, they are 2-2 straight up, 2-2 against the spread, 3-1 to the under. But more, like I said, this is more about the fever. This is more about the Sparks, in my opinion. Let's see. Woman done sports, I think is how it's pronounced. She ain't grabbing that many rebounds with that shoulder. I'm guessing we're talking about Natasha Howard. Let's see. Open plus 5.5. I didn't see that. Joe Beeson's going Sparks money line. Teams with who just beat the Storm this season are 2-6 straight up, 1-7 against the spread in the next game. Also, home teams who just failed to cover as a double-digit favorite are 10-2 straight up in their next game. Okay, some love for the Sparks here. Okay, JLB, we'll be on opposite sides here today, but we shall see. Let's see. Mark asking about the under. Nice trend there. The Sparks never cover any game, so I can imagine it's not them. I'll show you real quick, JLB. This is what I felt when I was looking. I know you're looking at a overall trend. I'm looking at more of a team trend here, and that is, let's just make sure I got the right window up. Minimize me. All right, so I looked at the Sparks. Dang, what did I just do? I just canceled. Oh, because I wasn't on the window. My fault. All right, so I looked at the Sparks this season. Previous win, 0-6 straight up, 0-6 against the spread. You guys can see that there. 5-1 to the over. I mean, I can't put any faith in you if I find a 0% trend on you. Like, no faith at all. Some of these losses came against the Lynx, the Dream, the Valkyrie, the Lynx, the Sky, the Lynx. Are the Mystics as good as those teams? Not all of them, but you just don't know what version of the Mystics you're going to get. I think their defense will be enough to win this game for them, though. That was one thing that I like as far as trend goes. All right, so let's go back, and then we'll see. I think we only got a couple more comments, and then we'll get ready to get off here. Telling you guys the Sun plus 15 and Sparks money line. Toby says, okay. Kansas City play Sonia Citron over 12.5 points. Washington plus 4.5 for Sports Center. Brink's supposed to play today. That's why. Nah, I don't think she's playing today. I listened to Lynn Roberts before they played against the Connecticut Sun. I don't think she's coming back today. What else should I say here? What up, Fahrenheit? Appreciate you for tapping in, showing love. Again, man, hit the like button for me if you can. Definitely helps out the show. Appreciate the donos today from everybody as well. Mystics money line. I'm with you, Matt. That's what I played. Fever and Sparks. Noah says Sparks equal cones. That's a fact, Mark. I can't play on a team that can't get stops defensively. I just can't do it. Cannot do it. Dom says he plays Sparks team total under 81.5. Mystics on the money line. Okay. Play Kiki Erickson points plus rebounds. Jason said this morning, like her and Austin to dominate inside. I agree with that. Continue to fade the Sparks at home. Mystics money line, Natalie says. Like it heavy on it. Okay. Mark says I like the under 81.5 as well. Kiki over her points and rebounds for TJ. Fever by 50, Noah says. I don't think a team's ever won by 50 on the first leg of a back-to-back. Dom says books are getting ready to take everybody's Sun money. I want to get there with the Sun too, man. I haven't bet it yet, though. I have not bet it. Just the over for me in that game. Even a blind squirrel can find a nut eventually. That's a fact. That is a fact, man. All right, let's see what else y'all saying here. I think we're doing a pretty good job. We're doing a very thorough job. I'm trying to go through the comments though. What else y'all saying here? Hamby under her 7.5 boards for G21. Shakira under 22.5 points plus rebounds. I can't do it against the Sparks defense, but I do think the numbers are starting to get a little bit too big though. 14.5 points is a lot for Shakira Austin. She's a little too erratic for me on the offensive end. I seen her miss some shots she should normally make, but it's a soft defense for the Sparks for sure. As a ready to get 8 rebounds for Fahrenheit. What else I was saying here? I think that is, man, these comments don't stop. Y'all going crazy. Hope y'all hitting the like button as much as y'all comment, man. All right, let's see. I don't renege the percentage, but teams that open as dogs then switch to favorites always win in all sports. One of my biggest profitable wins as a sports bettor. Don't remember. Okay, the percentage. Okay. Plum assist. I think it's still 5.5, Brian. She let me down last game. I didn't bet it, but remember I talked about it. She was coming off the 12 assist game against the Lynx. She had 3. She had 3, and that was against the Connecticut Sun, man. If you can't get 4 assists against Connecticut, I think I'm gonna chill. I need to see a little bit more consistency, Brian. What up, Helms? Fever Sun under. So me and Helms on the opposite side. Sparks on the money line. So we on the opposite side twice. Me and Helms bet both things opposite. Love Hamby for 8 rebounds. I like Hamby under her points. We shall see if we finish. Appreciate you, Justin. Says I hit the light. Adam says he'll play Tina Charles over 15.5 points. Connecticut, for whatever reason, the Fever give it up inside. And Aaliyah Boston's not a bad defensive center. Well, she's not great, but they give it up. So I was looking at Tina Charles. Tina Charles man. I feel like the coach could bench her. Like they could give what's the young lady name? Anisha Morrow. I feel like they could give Anisha Morrow her minutes. Like it's scary, man. It's scary. Appreciate you, Helms. He says like. And Helms also likes Sanaya Rivers over her 3.5 boards today. I think she came off a 6 rebound game today against the Sparks. Much worse rebounding team, but couldn't talk you off. Could not talk you off. I agree with this comment from Squat. Says as an athlete, when you have a bad team first, followed by a great team, you always look ahead to the great team. And I agree. I mean, it's been players. Draymond said that a couple years ago on his podcast about playing against, some of the sorry teams, like when Detroit was sorry. So I do agree with that. All right, getting into a quick recap. There is every single team plays tomorrow, right? No, 5 games tomorrow because Connecticut's already done after today. So 5 games tomorrow. All the lines are out except the Indiana and New York game, of course, because it's the first leg of a back-to-back. So we're going to jump ahead to those games after the injury reports are complete. Some of these lines have moved already. I saw Chicago open as a 2.5 point favorite yesterday. They're up to 6 now. Over Chicago. Atlanta's up to 6 now over Chicago. So take with that information, do what you want, man. Best of luck on whatever it is that you guys are betting today. But I bet the over in Connecticut and Indy, and I took Washington on the money line, man. If you're riding with me, best of luck. If you're on the other side, not best of luck. Sign up link in the description as always, man, to get the plays directly sent to your email. Check out the resources if you guys are interested. Jackson, Outlier, Moneyballer, Odds Jam. And I will catch you guys in the next one. On the way out, do me a favor, hit that like button for me if you can. Subscribe to the channel and turn the notification bell on. Appreciate you guys for tapping in as always, man. Enjoy your Tuesday.